Hi, let's talk about something real quick. Okay, so there's a group that is losing everything. They're losing their status, they're losing their titles, they're losing their position, they're losing money, they're losing home, they're just losing everything. But they're losing these things because of what they did for money. This is how they made their money. This is people who were doing um, like unjust things. They were stealing, robbing, killing, but they were in positions where that's not okay for anybody to do. But these people, these could be judges, lawyers, doctors, these people are being found out. They're being exposed. And because of that, they're being forced to either step down from their positions. They could be going to jail. They thought that this was going to work forever. This was something that was happening. It was going on for a very long time. And they never thought, like I said, they thought that this would go on forever, but they were lying to themselves. This is giving heavy, what goes around comes around energy. They're being taught a lesson, right? The scales have to be balanced. And for those scales to be balanced, these people have to be brought to justice. So it's like everything that they were doing to succeed and to win, those are the very things that are now bringing them down. So they may have felt this coming. They may have seen this coming. Certain things around them had, started failing. They weren't working as smoothly as they used to work. The little hiccups that they were experiencing that they used to be able to just get out of, they aren't able to do that anymore. Um, so it's like forcing them in a state of heartbreak, but it may be helping you to get out of heartbreak. You may have had to really work, really toil, really do some deep healing. Like this, whatever it is that these people did to you specifically, it may have really fucked you up and you had to survive this, right? But with that survival, you may have picked up some traumas, right? Some people may have picked up some addictions just so that they can, make it through their day. But it's given like once this person, these people come to justice, your healing will not, like, you'll feel safe again. You'll feel whole again. I feel like you had to really endure some hard times. You had to be strong in situations that, you should have been supported in. You may have had to stand alone and stand by yourself. And this was something that you had to endure for a while. But it did pay off for you. You were able to heal from this. But this was something that you should have never went through. I feel like these people had a lot of support. And it's like everybody who was supporting them were just like them. They were liars, manipulators. We got the king of coins coming out here in the reverse. So all of them had like minds. They were doing things simply for money. Some of them were doing things simply for power and control. Some of them was doing this shit just because they didn't like you. You may have never met them, but they felt the need to come for you because something about you just really triggered their damn demons. And for some of y'all, these are people that you rejected. Maybe you turned down a business opportunity because you saw, right? You had discernment. You felt that this wasn't good for you. You may have rejected these people, and it's almost like they've been targeting you ever since. And instead of them just targeting you alone, they gathered people to help them and to watch as your life crumbled and as you had to pick up the pieces. So you're coming out in Emperor energy. So I'm feeling like even though, you may feel like this got the best of you, you put up a really good fight. You stood your ground. You're continuing to stand your ground. You're continuing to show up for yourself. And they did not expect you to do this. They didn't expect you to make it through this. They may have even come in and tried to negotiate some things with you so that you won't bring them to justice or help bring them to justice. And this was a failed negotiation. You look at them as an enemy, and there's no turning back from that. And they know that, but they hate the fact that you see them that way. They thought that they would be able to wiggle their way out of this situation. But it's almost like they kind of needed you to get on board so that they could. But you standing in your truth, you're going to keep telling your truth. Your truth is bringing clarity to these situations, which is also bringing in their downfall. Okay? And of course, they don't want this getting out. But it's coming out irregardless. They can't stop your forward movement. They can't stop you from healing. That's a part of your healing. You telling your truth, you expressing what happened to you, you pointing the finger at what these people did to you. That's a part of your healing, right? But this is going to bring a whole group to justice. And it's also given that this was divinely orchestrated, right? This is something that was meant to happen. You can't just go on operating like this forever. Okay, so that message was a little heavy, but that is what we have. So if anything comes out, y'all know I'll be back. Other than that, love you, bye.